Welcome to day 2. Today we're diving into our survival archetypes and to possibly see which one, if maybe more than one, might apply to you. And the 3 archetypes that we're going to be covering is the peacemaker, the caretaker, and the golden child. Yesterday, we explored our childhood environment and how that blueprint shaped the things that we believe about ourselves in the world. And that same blueprint also gave us a specific role we played for our parents, for our siblings, for our teachers. And I call these roles survival archetypes. So, what is a survival archetype? It is a role that your nervous system learned to play in order to feel safe, loved, accepted, seen, connected, anything that you needed as a child in order to grow and thrive. And it wasn't something you actually did consciously, it was something that you did as a result of a reaction to the environment you were in. At that time, it helped you survive. That survival mechanism, that deep seated role is living underneath and in our subconscious, and it's actually dictating how we show up in the world today. The peacemaker. This survival archetype had an environment that had a lot of conflict and they felt extremely unsafe to express themselves or to exist around their family in a way where they could be authentic. The environment was extremely unpredictable, or it could have even been volatile. And so what you learned as a child was, I need to keep the peace. I need to regulate everybody around me. And I need to make sure that everybody's emotions are okay without ever noticing what your own emotions were saying underneath that. And so this role learned how to regulate the entire room way before they understood how they could regulate themselves. The peacemaker then develops certain protective patterns, deep core wounds and beliefs that they carry today. And some of them are, I have to keep everyone happy. I have to stay in control. I have to make sure that everybody's regulated in the room. I have to make sure that the peace is sustained at any cost, even at the cost of me. And so today, this might look like you avoid conflict, discomfort, tough conversations. You over apologize or you over explain just to not lose connection or possibly be rejected. And then suppressing your own needs. So whatever needs to happen in order for that other person to stick around and for you to feel safe, you will put yourself out there and express that. The caretaker survival archetype grew up in an environment where parents were immature, they were workaholics, or perhaps they put too much on the child themselves. They might have become emotionally independent on them. They might have been taking care of their siblings, or you might have become the parent of the house at a very young age. And so the survival role that developed as a result of that is I am the responsible one. I have to stay in control for everything to stay afloat. I am the one that keeps pushing and making sure that this train keeps moving. And so you took on the parental responsibility, and now you have also become that potentially at work, at home, or you still play that role for your extended family. The caretaker protective patterns, those beliefs that are subconsciously still very much present in driving the behavior, is I have to keep everybody happy. I have to do it all alone. I have to make sure that everything keeps moving or life will fall apart. And so today it might look like overgiving or overfunctioning, difficulty receiving support, chronic burnout or resentment. And something that I normally don't talk about in my courses is toxic partners that don't reciprocate love or don't give you what you need because you keep enabling them from this fear of losing that connection, and you keep living in the cycle of continuously attracting the same type of person. It also applies to the same type of job, to the same type of friends. So really think about where this role might fit into your life. The golden child. This is a primary role in my life and is the reason why I developed so many frameworks for people in high functioning burnout. The environment for this role is lack of love, lack of approval, lack of safety, becoming tied to performance and only being seen and acknowledged if I was contributing something to the family. So it was almost like I was the family clown where I would have to create entertainment. I would have to make sure that I was a good girl. I would have to make sure that I got good grades. And that was the only way that I could stay connected specifically to my father. The survival archetype that comes out of this is be good, be successful, be impressive, be productive, keep moving really fast. And so it's very much tied to your worthiness inside of who you are and what you contribute when you're present. The golden child protective patterns are I have to prove myself and my worth in order to be valued. I can't slow down or life will fall apart. It won't work out if I don't keep producing. And so, what that looks like today is perfectionism or fear of failure, identity tied to achievement, difficulty resting, thinking that everything sits on your shoulders. What is the actual shift that I'm helping you make over the next 7 days? As you have been learning about the family blueprints and the survival archetypes, I want you to know that all of those things were learned as children and therefore they can be unlearned. And so, what we're really doing is we're going from asking, why am I like this? Why do I keep doing this? I'm always here. I always find myself. I'll never dig myself out. And having that feeling of desperation and feeling like you're stuck. To, what did I learn to become in order to survive? And does that role, that pattern still serve me today? Is this true in my life today? Because your survival archetype role isn't your identity. It's a strategy that we as children learned and our nervous system adapted in order to protect us when we needed it most. And our job as adults now is to recognize these younger versions living inside of us and heal them, give them the love and the reparenting that we didn't receive in order to release that energy and let it go so that we can really bring in the life that we truly desire. The reflection for day 2. We're going to be looking at which survival archetype feels most familiar to you. I actually had more than one in my system, but the one that I chose to work on was the golden child because it was the most prominent. So you might have identified yourself in the peacemaker and the caretaker and the golden child, and that's okay. Just choose the one that feels closest to home. And once you choose the survival archetype, take a look at what is it protecting you from. In your workbook, you will find a lot more ideas and examples and really dive in to see, I have been playing this role and it has been protecting me from this. And then finally, take a look at the protective pattern you notice that shows up as a result of this role. Tomorrow, we will be doing a deep dive into the protective patterns, and I will go more into the behaviors and the beliefs that are lingering underneath as a result of the survival roles and how you can dig a little deeper to really excavate what it might be so you could bring light and heal that part of yourself and finally let it go.